Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 19th hole. We are live on In Between Media. We are sports, we are lifestyle, and everything in between. The PGA Championship was won for the books. Some guy named Scottie Scheffler just keeps winning golf tournaments. Darn it, we didn't bet on him last week. We get another chance this week at the Colonial Country Club. They call this the Charles Schwab Challenge. It'll always just be Colonial Week for me and Conor. We're old school. We're just old grumpy men cantankerously waiting for another tournament to hopefully fade Scottie where he won't win and break our hearts. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the whole Galdarn channel, and join us right after this. Bump it. Here we are. Conor's back in his house.
I've arrived.
You were joining in with us a little bit. Tim will be happy to be for the return of the hat. We tried to goad you into the hat, but you were off the camera for a while there. And when we were finishing up the show, that's okay. The hat is back this week. Royal Slade's back in the house. Shout out Canada. We stand on guard for thee. We got the news, Niblick, the world of golf, and lots of news tidbits. We got the Caddie notes where we're going to wax poetically about Colonial Country Club. That's actually pretty easy. Great golf course. And, of course, we're going to bet on some golf with Club Twirls. I was twirling my new golf club on Saturday night at the driving range.
How did that go?
Oh, first one, right? First drive right out. Right, I hit like 5 or 6 half wedges to get my shoulders loose, get the limber, get limber as limber as a 38-year-old out of shape, sedentary lifestyle man can be. And I hit it really straight. It went really far, about what I usually hit it. And I was like, oh, that felt pretty good. I'm going to look at the face, just clean face, brand new driver. And it was off the toe. It still went long and straight, and I was like, I can get used to that.
I did not have as good of results. I played in Calcutta over the weekend and missed my quota both days by an excess of 15 points. Finished dead last in my flight, and it was brutal, man. First day was 40 degrees at tee off with 45-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
Oh, ouch!
Yeah, not great.
Dead last? Oh, it sounds like you had a really good day.
How do you finish again? Dead last? Yeah. So my current handicap is not doing me any favors in that format either. So it was a rough go this weekend.
Hey, I'm scratch on the range and 12 to 15 on the course. So what are you gonna do?
Well, yeah, I had to rush and get my handicap established for this season. So my first few rounds were really good. I was coming in around like a 7, which for me is good.
Yep.
And the reality is I'm a lot like you, Bo. I'm probably more in that 12 range. And so I'm fighting an uphill battle.
Hey, we're just going to camp out in the mid 80s and wreck the net. You don't want to give us strokes on the course. If we're playing net, it's going to be a very nice day for us. But if we're playing gross, it's going to be gross.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Royal's asking which driver I went with. I got the Ping G430 Max. That's a 2023 model, but obviously great for me since I was playing a Nike VRS Tour from 2011. Big upgrade for me.
So speaking of new clubs, I had to put the Scottie on the shelf for the weekend. Like I just haven't gotten it figured out. So I went back to the old 2-ball, and I was actually making putts. So that was good. But I
put a new Super Stroke grip on my 2005 Odyssey black insert. What's it called? The fastback putter that I have had forever and ever since high school. I've never given that thing up. Just put a new grip on it when it starts shredding in your hands, and you need a new grip. That's what I did last week. So I'm good to go. Another 5 years, I'll be able to ride the Super Stroke grip, and
Yeah, and you can buy just about 100 of those grips for what I paid for this Scotty Cameron that will be on
Yeah.
collecting dust for the
Yeah. This
foreseeable
grip,
future.
the putter back in 2005, I paid $90 for, and I spent 30 on the grip. So there you go. See, it doesn't take investment money to be good at golf. It takes investment time on the practice facility, on the golf course, lots of reps. That's why Scottie Scheffler's so good. That dude is just practicing all the time, and he's so much better than everybody else. It's ridiculous.
You cannot buy your way to victory, it turns out.
Nope. It turns out that it just takes hard work, and we don't have time for that.
No, and no one would ever accuse me of being a hard worker. So,
well, let's get into the news. The Niblick is upon us. A lot to catch up on. The world of golf is buzzing at the Scottie Scheffler's third major victory, and everybody else who seems to be a little bit sore about it. Well, you hit the wrong drop within 5 seconds. 5-second rule. Totally redeemed myself.
Was that you? You did that?
Yeah, I hit the wrong one, and so I immediately realized it and hit the right one, which obviously fixed everything. Nobody noticed.
Dr. Nicolette, we got to take those buttons away from you immediately.
The launch codes are in my briefcase. I wanted to shout out West Tennessee, Talking West Tennessee, 101.5 FM. You're catching us live, so forgive us if we slip up and give you some bad information. Actually, that's all we do on this show, so take everything with a grain of salt. We tend to be pretty good at what we do, but the disclaimer is that we don't always win, as in last week when neither one of us bet on Scottie Scheffler because he'd never played a competitive round at Quail Hollow like some other guys who had won there 4 times in the past. Neither one of their TaylorMade drivers, the QI10s, were conforming from overuse. So what happens is the face thins out, and when you thin out titanium, it gets hotter, and eventually it becomes non-conforming, too springy, too thin. And both Scottie and Rory had non-conforming drivers. They had to swap heads, and one of them did very poorly for the whole week and tie for 47th. That would be Rory McIlroy, the guy we both bet on, and the guy who's number 1 in the world and winning everything he plays. Didn't seem to be too bothered by the new driver head. He had a couple pulls on Sunday in the front 9, figured it out, turned on the afterburners, left John Rahm and everybody else in the dust. Green Mile on Saturday was the most amazing thing. Like 14 through 18, last 5 holes on Saturday, Scottie Scheffler was 5 under par, including one of the craziest 300-yard shots with a 3-wood you're ever going to see on the par 4 14th. 3 feet for eagle. That's stupid. That's stupid. That shot was amazing. Conor, what is it going to take for somebody to A, beat Scottie at anything on the golf course, and B, is he ever going to relinquish number 1 in the world?
So the way that they started on Thursday, I did not think that it was going to be Scottie's week, or Xander's or Rory's.
No, it was bad.
It was pretty gross. Yeah, dude, honest to God, I mean, you can't take anything away from Scottie. Obviously, he's an amazing golfer. He's winning a ton. Is he the world number 1? I don't know. I mean, you know that I have opinions on that. I mean, I think Rory had a bad week. I think right now you could really make the argument that they're still both neck and neck. Rory's doing some serious damage this year. And frankly, I think if we had Bryson 24/7 on the PGA Tour,
he'd be up there for sure.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of players that on any given weekend can definitely give Scottie a run. But it's
5 under on his last 5 coming down the stretch on Saturday for a final round, for a third round 65 that left everybody in the dust.
No, like
he was even with the rest of the field, and then all of a sudden you're teeing off on Sunday and he's got a 3-shot lead. Good luck.
Yeah, he's still. I mean, I will say it's not as consistent as it was. You know, like if you look at, I mean, a 71 on Sunday, not great. You know, he bounced back really well in round one, but he started pretty rough, like we talked about.
Yep.
So I mean, there's some chinks in the armor. You know, like I don't know that he's
not
as
many.
put together. I don't know if he's as put together as he was last season. Is all I'm saying. Like he's still an amazing player. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's more gettable this year than he was last year.
Were you as happy as I was watching Jon Rahm have fun on the golf course again? Because that was nice. That was like, okay, Jon Rahm is finally figuring out this whole professional golf career has a lot to do with legacy. And his legacy as a hothead, as the person who throws tantrums when he doesn't play well, I think that's behind us, because we saw him play an immaculate round up until the 16th hole on Sunday, pulled even with Scottie Scheffler entering the back nine. It was short-lived, of course. And then, of course, he went through the green mile at 5 over par to finish up his final round, dropping him out of the top 5 entirely. But for a fleeting moment, we were like, okay, Jon Rahm smiling, Jon Rahm having fun, Jon Rahm human being. Scottie was shaky at that turn, and of course he made birdie at 10, 14, 15, and that was it. But for a while there, we were like, okay, Jon Rahm is here to play, and he might even be top live. That ended up being Bryson, but if we get a reintegration of these two tours in the near future over the next couple of years, this is going to be some fireworks every week, not just 4 times a year. Jon Rahm, Bryson, we might even get a resurgence from other guys that have made their way over to the LIV Tour. There was so many great names that went over there that we don't get to see enough because they're not playing as many competitive rounds against the rest of the best in the world. I'm not going to say one or the other is better because it kind of goes week to week.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of guys over there. I mean, Neiman jumps out at me.
His first top 10 in a major this week.
Cam Smith, though he hasn't done much. I mean, You think about the rhythm that he can get into when he's competing with these guys. I mean, Cam Smith is still one of the best players in the world.
DJ was number 1 in the world 5 years ago. What happened there?
Well, what happened there is right. Holy cow! What he finished? He finished this week dead last.
Yep, not great. Yeah, DJ is a puzzling case of motivation. Brooks Koepka seems to have kind of fallen on hard times after it didn't seem like it affected him one bit the first couple years of the LIV defection. He was still showing up in majors, and now recently he hasn't been.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see once they're back. I mean, I think it's inevitable. I think we'll see it. I don't know. I think as soon as probably 12 months, maybe as long and far out as maybe 24 months, but I think these guys start playing in some capacity.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'd welcome them back. I mean, I think all the drama and nonsense has kind of subsided, and so it's
right. All the checks have cleared. Everything's kind of back to where they were before they defected. All the money's been spent, and now it's just like $4 million for winning seems to be the status quo in most events. So what's the damn difference anymore?
Yeah. Get them back and get all the best players under one tent. So hopefully that happens.
We had to egg on a little bit more on Rory McIlroy's performance. Mr. Quail Hollow, absolutely terrible all 4 days. Just couldn't figure it out. Wayward off the tee. We haven't seen wayward off the tee from Rory in a year and a half. And then his approach game was kind of off again. Like he was flustered by his lack of success off the tee, and it just compounded in other parts of his game that we thought were locked in. Very terrible performance for Rory. I was so disappointed that I bet so much on him because it was bad.
Yeah, he burned a couple of lips with putts, and he looked out of sorts. And I don't know. I don't know if the same season Grand Slam was creeping into his head or what.
It probably crept out pretty quickly after Thursday because it was over. It was Jover. And I wasn't a huge fan of him dipping away from media coverage all 4 days. It's one thing to not do it on Thursday when the whole non-conforming driver thing kind of leaked out. That had to tick him off. But the other 3 days, what's your excuse for not taking any questions? Even the guys who even the guys who played terrible, missed the cut, they still fulfilled their obligations. They still answered some questions. They might even just say, next question. I'm not talking about that today. Rory just ducks out all 4 days. That's a bad look. It's like, I get you are burnt out from talking more than anybody else the last couple of years, but come on, man.
Yeah, he's got to get his, I don't know. He's got to get the fan appeal.
He's not beating the soft as Charmin allegations these days.
No, and he's been doing this now for quite a while, where like if he's, in his feels for the day, he just dips out. And like, I'm a diehard Rory fan, but I will say it irritates me even when I see him do it. I'm just kind of like, grow up, man. Like, go face the music.
You're taking this whole Irish goodbye thing a little seriously at this point.
You're not even doing it well. Everybody sees you dip out the lot.
Hey, every day is a half day if you just leave.
The key is you got to fade into the shadows.
Pocket sand.
But yeah, I think not just us. I think the vast majority of people were very heavy on Rory this week, and he just didn't deliver.
Very poor. He made the cut on the number, which was a small victory. Very small. And a lot of people made jokes about, from jail to Quail for Scottie Scheffler. He spent a couple hours in jail back in Louisville, but the real story was Ángel Cabrera on the Champions Tour served 30 months in South American prison and comes back, wins his second tournament on the Champions Tour, and then 2 weeks later wins his first major on the Champions Tour with the Tradition. That's real adversity. You spend 30 months locked up and you come out there on the Champions Tour and win 2 of your first 4 events. Mad props to Ángel Cabrera, Masters champion. It's just a cool story. Like, the guy gets a shot at redemption and he goes out there and plays some great golf. So kudos to him. Do you have any thoughts on Ángel Cabrera?
Yeah, it's a family show now, so we'll save some details, I'm sure. But I'm going to guess his prison experience was a very stark contrast to Scottie's.
Very stark. As poor as the reputation for Louisville is, I'm thinking Brazil and Argentina is not better.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have a face tattoo or something.
Hey, those are all the rage these days.
That ship has sailed for me. I'll just keep this baby face going.
Yeah, I get some face tats. I got tats everywhere else. Why not do my face? Oh, that's why. Because I'm married.
Right across your forehead. I think it'll be a good look.
Yeah. No regrets.
Not even one. Not one letter.
Not one letter.
Not saying.
Yeah. Well, let's actually hit the caddy notes drop here for real this time. Conor, you ready for Conor Coughlin Colonial Colloquialisms? That's what we're going to call this segment for this week. Write that down. This is the Colonial Country Club, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. The Metroplex is what they call that area of Texas. It's the Conor Coughlin Colonial Country Club colloquialism hour here in Caddy Notes. I don't know how I said that so fast twice in a row, but go for it, Conor.
Do you have that written down? That's impressive.
No, I do not. I just that's off the cuff, and I'll never be able to recreate it. I'm going to give all credit to our Lord and Savior Mountain Dew.
Through that, all things are possible.
Not a sponsor yet.
Mountain Dew or Monster, I'll take either one at this point.
Monster turns me into a monster, so I'll try to stay away from that stuff.
Yeah, we don't talk about it often, but this is my backyard. I was born in Dallas, Plano, technically. But Colonial Country Club, Fort Worth, Texas, par 70, 7,289 yards. Fairways are Bermuda, greens are bent grass. Colonial is a tight and tree lined with tiny greens.
Toit.
Speaking of trees, the trees are ancient here. This course is the longest standing course in the rotation. I think, what is it, 25 years straight, something like that.
Yep.
So anyways, accuracy is super critical here. Even the layup spots that you think you're hitting to can be obstructed by some of these overhanging trees. So that being said, you got to be accurate off the tee. Obviously, distance really doesn't give you much of an edge here. There's very, very specific spots to hit to. So yeah, it's not going to be a bomb and gouge affair. I know we say a lot of times that distance can be utilized almost everywhere. This is really not the case here. Like, this is
not at all.
Very, very strategic golf. And
hit it straight again, and make some putts.
Yeah, I mean, and really, you're summarizing it pretty well. I mean, it's a good watch. It's a great course. I love it. But yeah, the strategy here is just to be excellent from all approach buckets. Really, this is not about anything other than accuracy off the tee and being able to knock it very close on approach. Like I said, they're tiny greens. They're going to be pretty quick. Mm-hmm. The other thing that you have that's a problem on approach is there are a literal ton of bunkers here. There's about 80 plus bunkers in play. All the greens are heavily guarded. So it's not if you end up in the sand, it's when you end up in the sand. Mm-hmm. So there is a little bit of a correlation with strong sand players, good around the green games, being able to scramble and get up and down. There's also plenty of water that comes into play. There's 6 holes that further emphasize accuracy. So pretty much everywhere you turn, you can get yourself into trouble here. That being said, historically, this course can be tamed by almost any type of golfer. As long as the only thing you've got to be is accurate. As long as you're accurate, there's a lot of different guys that have had success here. So, like Bo said, we both look forward to this tournament every year. It's usually a mixed bag for the field, but it's still a great watch. So,
yeah, and it really drills home the fact that you don't need a course to be 7,500 plus yards to be difficult, especially when you do it the right way. You grow the rough out, you make the fairways narrow, the greens are small and fast, well guarded. Good shots are rewarded here, and poor shots are repelled here. So that's what golf is all about, especially at the professional level. Is a 7,600 yard course last week is probably going to have around the same winning score as a 7,200 yard course this week. And that says a lot about what Colonial is still. It's still a course you can't take advantage of by length. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to hit it down there as far as I can. If you do that here, you're going to miss the cut. It's not going to be fun. A couple of guys have found shortcuts where some of the taller trees are not present. Like, you see some of the guys bombing it over dog legs, but it's still a lot of risk to that, because if you pull it off, great, you're going to make a birdie. But if you don't pull it off, you're looking at double. That's the risk is built in here. And a lot of the guys won't even take that risk. They'll say, hey, let's play positional golf, hit some quality shots, and try to avoid the compound error when we do miss the fairway, because 27 yards wide on average, the third narrowest fairways on the PGA Tour. You have to be in the fairway to score here. And if you miss, you just have to avoid the double bogey.
Well, and to your point, you bring up something interesting about compounding the problem. When you do try and cut these, or when you do try and shape a shot and get a little bit of extra distance, just by laws of math, you further reduce those widths of those fairways. So the level of precision that you've got to be able to exercise off the tee to try and pick up a few extra yards, you're just not going to see a lot of guys doing it. It's a risk reward deal, and frankly, it's not worth it. Yep.
So we're looking at good drives gained, accuracy, greens and regulation gain, proximity, all the buckets. I'm going from 125 to 200. Strokes gained par 4, especially in that 400 to 450 range. There aren't any long par 4s on this golf course. Most of them are in that kind of 4 to 450. and there's a lot of them. So you have to capitalize on the par fours. There's only 2 par fives. The first hole is the easiest hole on the golf course. The second hole is the second easiest on the golf course. It's a shorter par 4. After that, this course gets gnarly in a hurry. You get 3, 4, and 5, the horrible horseshoe. Colonial has stolen some souls on holes 3 and 4 and 5 after people get a little cocky after the first 2 holes. And then the other par 5 on the back is a 635. It's a beast. That's a 3-shot hole for everyone. And it's still a birdie hole. You have to be able to take advantage of the par 4s when you're sitting in the fairway attacking a pin. That's why this golf course doesn't really have any winning scores better than 15 under par. It's a classic. That's the beauty of Colonial, is that anybody can win here, and it could be anyone with any skill set. It's whoever plays the best this week.
Yeah, the horrible horseshoe too. I mean, I think it used to be a little more horrible than it has been the last couple of seasons. Specifically, hole number 3 is all the way up to almost a 12% birdie rate, which is, I thought, kind of surprising. So you can really get off to a good start. 4 and 5 are going to turn the screws on you for sure. There's no doubt about that. But 1, 2, 3, if you can, go birdie par and get yourself going, and then weather the storm of 4 and 5, from 6 through 10, really 6 through 11 almost. I mean, those are all gettable holes for the most part. There's, I think the course has been a little more gettable since the redesign. But it's, to your point, it's got teeth everywhere. So, it's speculative, but I think there's some good opportunities to have some birdie runs here. Especially if you get a guy that's really, really got it dialed in for the day, really hitting everything accurate, not going to close. The greens are really small. I did look at some of the putting stats too. So there is a strong correlation to people that win here with the putter. I'm not saying it's a putting contest, but this is definitely a tournament where you need to gain as many strokes as you can putting too. So doesn't hurt to bake some of those in if you're modeling.
Yeah, that's what kind of what I'm doing too, is just kind of putting the whole picture together. I like hot golfers who are traditionally accurate off the tee and on approach. And unfortunately for everybody, that points us all towards Scottie Scheffler. So without going too deep into it, let's hit the drop and let's bet on some golf, Connor. Scottie Scheffler. DraftKings Sportsbook's what we're using. You can use whatever your book you want. Scottie Scheffler is going to be pretty much considered a coin flip to win this tournament, plus 250. Not the best odds, but who else are you going to bet on here? And Connor, if you're not betting on him at plus 250, are you interested in doing the live betting that I like to do, where I stalk the live odds all Thursday, pensively anticipating an afternoon wave for Scottie, and where the morning guys, somebody goes out there and shoots 64. That's what we're hoping for. And then Scottie might start par on 1-2. That would really set things off. And then he hits the horseshoe maybe at 1 or 2 over par, and we get him at plus 600 or plus 700. That's when I'm attacking. That's my plan. What are you going to do?
I'm going to get him at the plus 250, and then I'm going to live bet him too.
Please, Scottie. No whammies.
Yeah, I like, here's the thing, man. And we talked about this a little bit last time I was on with you, is I think we're kind of getting to a point where fading the favorite, no matter how short, is not proving to be a good strategy.
Not this year.
So I would I normally bet somebody a plus 250? No, but like, Scottie is clearly a cut above the rest of this field.
Oh, so it's 3 cuts. I did 1, 2, 3. I did 10 categories this week in my model, and he is number 1 in 5 of them.
Same.
And no worse than 33rd, which is putting. In a field of 133, to get Scottie 33rd in putting means that Scottie has no weaknesses. Scottie's going to win, and he might win by 13 shots, which is a combined total of how much he's won the last two times he started. This is Scottie Scheffler's tournament to lose. I just don't know if I can do plus 250, but I will be anxiously awaiting whatever it turns into on Thursday, and I'll probably end up pulling the trigger somewhere around that number. If he comes out okay, then I'll be like, all right, let's just do it anyway. We have time. We have time until Thursday to figure stuff out. But Scottie Scheffler, by far number one in my model, by far number one in your model, in our hearts. Watching him sign his card with Bennett holding his yardage book and hat. That was an amazing moment. The dude's a dad first. Where are you going to put your Wanamaker trophy, Scotty? Oh, it's going in the golf room with all my other crap. Who says that? That's amazing. He's one of us. We can't keep pretending that Scotty's elite if he's just like us. He's always giggling about golf, just like golf looks fun for him and he's just better at it than everybody else. So might
be the secret to why he's so good, man. He just goes out and he enjoys playing.
Well, that and he never misses the center of the club face, like ever.
That helps.
He's pretty good. I'm going to start my actual card at 30-1. Mav McNealy, shout out NorCal, licensed pilot, heir to the Oracle throne in NorCal. Comes from money. Still a damn good golfer.
Yeah, I like Mav here too. 30-1. Daniel Berger is actually where I start mine at. I think he's still at 25. Let me just double check. Yeah, he's still at plus 2,500. And Berger rates
cheeseburger.
Berger is 2 in my model. The other thing too that I people maybe forget is Berger's won here before back in 2020, and he's having a really good season, man.
Nobody saw it though.
That's fair. That old COVID, it'll get you. I don't even know what that was. COVID, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was nobody on no gallery. That it was Michael Block's worst nightmare.
That's back when I was betting esports because we couldn't bet on anything else.
I had to get my fix, man.
But yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't think people realize just how good Berger is on approach. He's 4th in my model over the last 36. He's also 3rd in opportunities gained. He's hitting the ball really, really close. Doesn't miss a lot of greens, but when he does, he's got a pretty decent around the green game, especially over his last 5-10 starts. He's been really good at getting up and down. So yeah, I like the value of Berger here. I mean, when you 10 times the odds of Scottie, this is a place that Daniel Berger has won. This is a course that makes sense for his game. It's not necessarily a birdie fest. So I think Berger 25 is a good number.
Yeah, and other than Mav and Scotty Live, I'm not dabbling in any short odds here because honestly, this course kind of brings it out from all angles. You don't see very many first timers win here or even have success here. You kind of have to be the 3rd, 4th, 5th time at Colonial to score high. I think only one first time winner has happened in the last 30 years. That was our guy Davis Riley last year. First time in the tournament, wins it last year by 5 over Scotty and company. That was an impressive performance. This is the kind of course that can pull guys out of the woodwork. So I'm going to jump right to the mids. And
do you have any interest in Tommy Fleetwood?
For what?
I just when you look at guys that are accurate and have solid approach games.
What's the line for top 20? Because that's what I bet on.
That's kind of what I was wondering is what you were doing with him, because I know he's getting a little bit of steam.
For what?
Yeah, his top 20 I think is plus 110.
Nah, no thanks. Not interested.
I might do the top 10 on him as plus 220. I don't hate that.
I hate it. He's 4th in my model. The 2 shorter approach buckets, he's pretty mid. 61st in putting, 62nd on the par 4 distances we're looking at. No thanks. Tommy Fleetwood, as soon as he does something ever, I'll be back in on him because I like watching him play. He's a fun watch. He just doesn't win anything. He doesn't finish high. He finishes top 5 every once in a while, top 10 even more once in a while. But he's just like he's your cut making parlay guy. If you got a cut making parlay, yeah, put him in there. But otherwise, Tommy Fleetwood he's a non-starter for me.
God, just feels like it's going to be a course like this that he gets it done at.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't know if he has that killer instinct. He's too nice. He's so nice. He's so
might
nice.
dabble.
I am going to dabble the entire ladder on a new friend of the show, Michael Kim. Big Mike says my swing is nice. He's my next one on the card. See, I'm going buckshot on the long shots. I got Mav and I got Michael Kim in the mid range. Talk me out of Michael Kim because I'm all in, and it has nothing to do with him thinking my swing is nice.
Yeah, that was nice of him on social media. I need to like get on there. What was that on the old X or Twitter or whatever the kiddos are calling it nowadays?
Yeah, he was in a flight delay back to Dallas with Ben Griffin and Tom Kim, and so I put my swing vid from driving range on Saturday, and I was like, I don't like my takeaway. Can you give me a drill to help me with this takeaway? Because I set my wrist really early, and I don't like it. I don't get any width on the backswing, and I was expecting him to say something other than you slot it real nice. I'm like, thanks, man. It's really nice, but it didn't help me.
Oh, Bo.
But it did make my day that a PGA Tour professional looked at my swing and said, "Not bad."
I'm glad he didn't see my swings over the weekend. Michael Kim. Yeah, I think for me, I'm probably out on Michael Kim this week, and the main reasons: the approach game hasn't been great over the last 5 starts. It hasn't been horrible. It just hasn't been.
He's been fighting injury, to be fair.
That completely fair, but I mean, you look at the last time. I mean, PGA Championship, he lost almost 3 strokes on approach. The other thing too is, it's a relatively correlated stat that you got to make putts here, and it's just not putting well right now. Like, he started this season red hot. I hope he bounces back. I think that's pretty short for Michael Kim, given the current form, my opinion. But I'll say in that mid-range, I started our boy Siwoo Kim, who I think
his course history here is so bad, which makes no sense. You would think that a guy who plays positional golf as well as he does, I think the only thing that's tripping him up is that Colonial was not designed by Pete Dye.
Yeah, I think that's it. If we just say it was designed by Pete Dye, I mean, Siwoo might not know the difference.
Yeah. Does anybody love Siwoo more than Scottie Scheffler does?
No, God, did you see some of the mic'd up stuff they were doing?
So funny. They crack each other up. Siwoo is hilarious.
Dude, yeah, Siwoo, they were giving him a hard time. They're like, what's your bar tab up to after that hole in one? About $5,500 bucks. Oh, yeah, Siwoo's great. And it makes it easy to root for the guy. But in being real about why I think he's a good bet here, the approach game is absolutely nails right now. I mean, and typically, to your point, Bo, he does play pretty good positional golf. So, but over the last 5 starts, he's gaining almost 3 strokes to the field. I looked at his around the green, which I already said is going to be important here. He's gaining about 1.3 over the last 5 starts. And then for Siwoo, what always is the kind of hiccup is the putter. And though he's had a couple of bad weeks amidst a couple of good ones, he's coming off a real hot putting week at the PGA Championship. He gained almost 7 strokes on the greens there. He was been 8th, 15th, 17th, and 8th now in his last 4 starts. I mean, Siwoo is prime, and best I can tell, good vibes are going around him too. So I really like Siwoo here at 40.
Yeah, let's just ignore how terribly he's played here in the past because he's hot right now. So hot. I don't have anybody tell you hit 90 to 1. Do you have anybody kind of else in that mid range, or are we going to go deep sea fishing here soon?
Let me get my info up here because I didn't have time to post into our show notes. Apologies for that.
You blew it.
I blew it. Got a lot of interest in Ryan Gerard at 65 to 1. I think that
he's playing great this year.
Yeah, he's playing great. He's another guy that is pretty hot right now. I mean, when you look at what he did at the PGA Championship, 8th place, gained almost 6 strokes on approach, had a flat putting week, which for him is actually a pretty decent putting week. And then the other thing too that I like to see that spiked at the PGA Championship is he typically doesn't gain a lot of strokes off the tee, but he gained 4.2 last week.
That's excellent.
And I think people mistake that stat to mean like distance, and it's really
he's short. He's short off the tee. He's been striping it down the middle of the fairway, which obviously very important last week, and this week is even more important to be in the middle, and the distance doesn't matter as much. Like Ryan Gerard is thankfully a good long iron player because he was hitting fairways and he showed up really well last week. He hung in there quite a bit longer than a lot of people expected. That form is going to carry over well to this golf course because he's one of the shorter hitters out there, but he's always in the fairway. And he's going to give himself shots on approach. He's a pretty decent approach player, especially from the mid to long iron distance. That you will have a good amount of longer approach shots on this course because of how they force the spots off the tee into a certain area.
Yeah, you should take a look at that one because I think that's a good number on him, especially with the form. So if you haven't looked at it, I would.
Okay, Jacob Bridgman.
I'll let you talk about it. Not on my radar.
No Bridgman for you?
Bridgman this week.
Did he kill you?
He's hanging out with Tom Hoagie.
So Bridgman just solid across the board. He didn't really have any great stats, but he also doesn't have any terrible stats. So he popped up at 35th in my model. I like the 90-1 number. Jacob Bridgman's a quality golfer. Am I going to invest a lot in any of these guys? No. But Jacob Bridgman's the kind of guy who's accurate in all the ways that you want him to be. And he's riding a hot putter, 21st in this field and 13th on the longer approach buckets. Those are good things to have at this golf course. Do I want to see him find more fairways? Of course. But I think that he's also struggled with driver, where he's not going to be hitting quite as many of those this week. Jacob Bridgman, 90-1. The guy who I'm really interested in, 120-1, Mac Meisner, showed up really strong last year at this golf course, playing really solid golf this year. 120-1 for a guy who showed up really high finish last year at Colonial. That's what we're looking for, is because Colonial is tough on newcomers, and he showed up here last year first time and was top 10. That's something that I definitely pay attention to. His style of play fits this golf course. He's a good positional player. And he can get hot. I like guys that can get hot, especially if we're going up against a guy like Scottie Scheffler. Anybody else kind of in that 100 range that you're throwing some darts at?
I got 2 at 150 and 1 at 1,000-1.
I have 1 at 150 and 1 at 250, and you know who the 250-1 is because it's a misprice like every week.
So I'll go first with my 150-1s then. So the first one I've got Sami Valimaki, which personally I think is a misprice as well. He rates out fourth in my model.
Definitely is.
Prior to the PGA miscut, he was on a hell of a hot streak. Cut came courtesy of losing on approach and putting, which is pretty abnormal for him. Mm-hmm. He tends to be around that 2 strokes gained on approach and almost 2 strokes on putting. He's nails from 5 to 15 feet, and he's number 3 in my model for opportunities gained, which is usually about a 10-foot metric on birdie opportunity.
That's the Alex Noren stat.
I think the correlation is here for Sammy, and he's playing some really good golf. So I would have put him I would have put him closer to that 90-1 range. So I think this is a good value we're getting on him. And then Henrik Norlander, I was shocked that he popped up. He's number 2 in approach, which, again, the last 24 rounds. So it's a pretty recent, sample, but really, really solid on approach right now. Bogey avoidance, he's in the top 10. And he was number 9 overall in my model this week. So 150-1. Again, I think that's a pretty good value on a guy who's in pretty decent form right now.
Yeah, we just don't want him to putt because he's bad at putting.
Yeah,
the approach is great. Good drives gained, 14th. That's great. Tee to green, 20th. That's solid. 113th in putting and 105th on par 4s between 4 and 450. So other than the 2 stats that I'm really paying close attention to, he's great. But at 150-1, that's baked in, right? There's
some holes, okay?
I don't fault you for trying Henrik Norlander, but I'll see your Henrik Norlander and Sami Valimaki, and I'll raise you 17-year-old Blades Brown, who is fantastic already on the Korn Ferry Tour, chasing leaderboards on the Korn Ferry Tour at 17. He finally grew up. The kid's got some length to him now, and he's really straight off the tee. He's really straight on approach, and he's got a short game well beyond his years. Very similar style of player to Scottie Scheffler. Is he there yet? No, not even close. But I like this. I like his style. I like the way he goes out there and navigates a golf course. And what better place to navigate a course than Colonial, where everything's kind of equal? This is the place where Annika Sorenstam made her PGA Tour debut. This is where a lot of people come to be a spectacle, but also show off that golf is so many different things. It's so many variables. Blades Brown has the game. He doesn't have the experience yet. I want to see Blades Brown. I'm going to throw $5 on him at 150 to 1, but making the cut, top 20, you better believe it. Blades Brown is every bit the future of this game, even though we probably won't see that come to fruition for another 4 or 5 years. He's still going to be there.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you and I both are on the same page. Every time he's teed up, we've at least thrown $5 at him. Super talented prospect. So
he's a high schooler, man. What's going on with these kids these days?
I don't know. He's crazy good at golf. I will say he does have some control issues off the tee. But outside of that, the rest of the game looks pretty good, especially the approach metrics. So I definitely think there's dumber things you can do with $5. Like Blades is the real deal. And it's going to be really cool to watch this guy grow up and come into his own.
Yeah, he's been impressive so far. And since your last one is so deep that he probably never has anybody heard of the guy you're betting at 1,000 to 1, or is it going to be?
Yeah, I talk about him every week. So
okay, that's good. It's probably something like Frankie Sapin or something. But Carl Phillips, somehow PGA Tour winner Carl Phillips, is still going out 250 to 1. So why wouldn't I bet another ladder on him when he's already won us so much money this season? Great approach player. Can he find the fairway off the tee? We don't know. We really don't know. But when he's in the fairway, his approach game's great, and he can make some putts, and he can hang in there. Why wouldn't I bet Carl Phillips, the talent, the future, the Sunday Red, the Stanford kid? He's got all the chips in his favor. Nothing to lose at Colonial. 250 to 1. He's 100 to 1 deeper than 17-year-old Corn Ferry Tour part-timer Blades Brown. And that's a PGA Tour champion this season. What is going on with these odds?
Dude, I love Carl Phillips, but you know what Carl Phillips can't do?
Find fairways?
I hit a fairway, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
I like the number. I don't love the course fit. You and I bet him every week as well. So
because they haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah,
and we won at 70 to 1 at Puerto Rico. So why wouldn't we just keep raking it in?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're positive money on Carl Phillips. So
we will be all year.
Got a few more bucks to throw at him. No, I think I love the golfer he can be. My big hope for him this week is that we just keep the driver out of his hand. Let him hit a little shorter clubs.
You don't need it, Carl. You don't.
Yeah. If you're watching the show, Carl, just club down. Just put it in the fairway.
Hit your hybrid, hit your 7-wood, your 9-wood, your 3-iron, your 2-iron, whatever you got in the bag that's not a driver that you can hit 250 yards off the tee. It will be just fine at Colonial. Yeah, I promise.
Or overswing and top all your drivers so they just roll down the fairway. I don't really care, but just
worm burners in the short grass.
Yeah, find fairways, please.
If you're in the trees this week, you are going home on Friday.
And you hit the nail on the head with my 1,000 to 1 shot here. I am gonna throw $5 on Frankie Sapin the third,
Minnesota.
So 1,000 to 1. The guy hasn't done much yet. And again, he
sure can putt though.
What's that?
He makes every putt for double bogey, doesn't he?
He sure does. And God love him. Every now and then he demonstrates that he has some short iron game as well. I think the thing with Frankie Sapin is this is the type of course. This is a lot like when Brian Campbell hit in Mexico in my head. This is a course type that works for Frankie Sapin's game. And so obviously he's a relative unknown. So that's why you're getting 1,000 to 1 on him. but he could very, very easily. We want people that are very good on approach, and we want good putting. And he does both of those things when he's actually playing to form. So it's just worthy of a $5, hope for the best.
A cup of Joe bet.
Exactly.
All right, what do you say we do the hat and wrap this thing up at 52 minutes?
We are crushing it.
No, we're dialed in. Oh, hat. Come on, low number.
24. 24 in your model. That's
Ooh,
I
like it. I like it. I got upside on my 24.
Oh,
not so much for you.
I got Maddie Schmid.
Oh, the German bomber. Not a great fit, Colonial.
not really where you want him.
the Blitzkrieg is what we call him, the German bomber.
Fairways gained, 105th in this field. Him and Carl.
So 25th on my model was Henrik Norlander, but 24th is the pride of the Philippines, Mr. Rico Hoey.
I would take yours over mine.
I would too, because he's number 6 in putting and 38th in greens and regulation gained, 38 in good drives gained. So if it's top 20 on approach, top 5 on strokes gained par 4. Rico Hoey, upside pick for your DFS lineups.
I've been playing some Hoey this year. I've been playing him and doing all right.
He's on DraftKings $7,100. That's a great pick.
That is a good price. It's a good price. What? So if it's not Scottie, who is it?
I got Mav McNealy or Mike Kim. Let's go Mike Kim because he said my slotting was nice.
I'm going to go Burger or Siwoo.
Burger. All right. Join us next week. Memorial. We're going to Jack's Place next week. One of the best non-majors of the season. We love Memorial. We love Muirfield Village. It's going to be so awesome. Join us.
Regular night?
Yep. Well, we'll to be determined. We'll talk about it.
Stay tuned.
It'll be for Memorial, though.